Nikon D10 20mm lens, ND filters, filter holder, batteries, magnifier, and since I have a spot, I will add the 50mm lens. And I will change my slippers. A new project today. Long exposure cityscapes photography in Milano. Let's go. Usually with long exposure photography, I want to capture the movements of the clouds or smoothen out the water, but not today. Today I want to use long exposure photography to get rid of people from my composition. I haven't went to a photo shoot with my scooter. It's kind of cool. So I parked my scooter. I think I can take the mask off since I don't have people around me. Anyways, let me tell you a little more about my long exposure cityscape project. My strategy in this project is to use long exposure to create this surreal atmosphere of an empty square here in Milano, which is really unusual or actually impossible. Because although I don't have people around me, there is a lot of people walking by this square. And I didn't tell you yet where I am at. This is the famous Arco della Pace in Milano. And I want to take this shot right after sunset, at the beginning of the blue hour, possibly capturing the beautiful last light of the day, together with the first city lights that at that point should start to turn on. My idea is to use this technique in different iconic locations of Milano, mixing modern architecture and of course historical sites. Due to the length of the exposure and how particular I want to be in terms of the right moment to capture the photo itself, I will only be able to take one photo per day. So this is going to be a little tricky because I do have people sitting right in front of me, which they don't look they're gonna move, so I am changing my composition a tiny bit. It has to be very, very symmetrical. And it looks that I'm not in the center. Yeah, this should work. The symmetry is key. The bottom part of the scene is very dark compared to the sky. It should change a little later. So definitely I will need to use a gradient neutral density filter. Ciao!
Fai le foto per qualche servizio o fai tipo un docu che parli da solo alla video?
Sto facendo un video per YouTube.
Per YouTube. Documentando cosa?
Documentando una foto a lunga esposizione che faccio per eliminare le persone dalla foto. Quello. Ciao, grazie. So now I just need to wait. Hopefully there will be less people walking by, and I might be able to shorten my long exposure. But let's see what kind of filters I might need to use to have this very, very long exposure. Right now my shutter speed is 1/30, and if I put the 15 stops and the filter, I would have a 16 minutes long exposure. The light will go down, so possibly the 10 stops will be enough later on. We'll see. The light is going down, and now we have a 1/20. I need to wait for the city light to turn on. I think that in Milano, the city lights will be turned on right after sunset. And I hope that's the case. While waiting, let me tell you that I have something new. I have a new photo tee. This is the vintage ART. I think it's very cool. Since we have time now while waiting for the right light, why don't you check the link up here and get your vintage ART today? I appreciate your support. The sun is set, but I don't see the city light turning on. Patience. So the lights are finally on. This is the right time. And I want to take the first photo with the aperture priority and f16 in order to see if I can get light starts on the lights that I see in this square. It's a 5 seconds exposure. And now let's take the long exposure. So this is my problem now. At f8 I have at f8 I have 1 second exposure. So 6 stops will give me 1 minute. And it's not enough. But with 10 stops it will give me 17 minutes. Should I go with 17 minutes? No. So what I will do is that I will go with the, I might need to go with the f16. With f16 I have 6 seconds and that stops 6 minutes. I will try that. I'm switching the 10 stops with the 6 stops now. Oh wow, it's getting dark real quick. I think you might have noticed that I had a little problem with my very long exposure, 660 seconds. I guess I shook the tripod, but fortunately, right after that shot, I decided to take another exposure, 30 seconds exposures, f16. I really wanted to see these stars coming out from the city lights of the square, and that looked much better. At the same time, I had 2 ladies standing right in the middle of the square with their shadows on the ground, which was ruining the ethereal atmosphere, the surreal atmosphere I wanted to create. So I decided to blend in Photoshop the bottom part of the 5 seconds exposure where I didn't have anybody in the square with my last shot, the 30 seconds exposure, and this is the result. So shit happens to everyone. I am very pleased with the final result, but at the same time a little disappointed with me for shaking my tripod or whatever I did. I'm glad we saved the shot, and I'm glad we saved the video. I'm also glad to work on this project, not only because I think that I am up to something with this kind of photography, but also because this will allow me to take my long exposures here in Milano, and at the same time I will be able to show you a little more of my city. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, hit the like button right below, leave me a comment, share this video with your best friends. Don't forget to join our new landscape photography Attilio Photo Club group on Facebook. And of course, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.